is KENPO Joe REBELO here in Dallas, Texas for the Gathering of the Eagles. We're here on day one and we're preparing for over 50 instructors to teach various arts on KENPO karate, kata, jiu-jitsu and judo, weapon work, whether it be stick or staff work. So we're in for some exciting action here at the Gathering of Eagles in Dallas, Texas. Again, August 11th, 12th, and 13th. Not to mention, which we're going to mention, about the International KENPO Hall of Fame being held on Saturday night. Again, we are looking for a lot of exciting action from various individuals from all over the world here at the Gathering of Eagles. Stay tuned for exciting action, videos, as well as interviews throughout the course of this weekend. See you soon. Hi, this is Joe REBELO again here with the 2017 KENPO Gathering of Eagles. And we're here with one of the instructors and celebrities from the event, John Bain. Sir, a pleasure.
Pleasure's all mine.
And, you know, I really appreciate this, and we've known each other for a while now. So the first question I ask all the interviewees here at the event is, how did you begin in the martial arts?
Well, I began when I was 12 years old in Bowie, Maryland, at the Parks and Rec, which was being held at the girls' gym at the senior high school under a man by the name of Su Young Cha, Master Su Young Cha. So I started in Taekwondo. 1969. So 48 years now.
Wow. Now, how long were you in Taekwondo?
I was in Taekwondo off and on for 20 years or more.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I would float between Taekwondo and Tong Soo-do.
Ah, okay.
And I guess it was during my time in the Navy I started running into a lot of different styles that I'd never seen. Kung Fu, Kenpo, all this other stuff. So my first taste of Kenpo was a side kick to the ribs.
Okay, let's hear that. First of all, for our viewers, again, of course, Taekwondo, the hand-foot way, of course, the Korean kicking art, and then Tang Soo Do, the way of the China hand, which has a lot of karate influences as well as Hoshin Sul, or Goshin Jutsu in Japanese, self-defense techniques, and actually some Kenpo techniques in there.
Yes.
From the 90-plus techniques in that particular system. So tell me about your introductory side kick from Kenpo.
There were some guys on board ship, and we got together and we trained and we started sparring. And next thing I know is I thought I was a good kicker, and the next thing I know is there was a side kick right in my ribs, and took the wind right out of me. And I went, okay, what style are you again? Oh, Kenpo. Okay, let me write that down. So put out some great tournament fighters and all that stuff, of course, as we all know.
Now, again, that was your experience with Kenpo. Where did you go to train in Kenpo when you got involved in it?
I went to Korea to go to college. I trained in Olympic-style Taekwondo while I was over there. Went and learned the language at another college, another university. And when I came back, I was a little disillusioned, so to speak, with what I'd been getting and what I'd been learning. And there was a Frivolari school that had opened up in the Orlando area. Went and started training there. The guy understood my situation and all this other stuff, let me train for free for the first 2-3 months.
Wow.
And he just wanted students and bodies in there, and I probably trained there with him for 6 months to a year, and he closed up. And then I ran into another school that was Daniel K. Pai.
Oh, wow, I love him, yeah.
Yes. So.
Wow, that must have been interesting.
Very interesting.
Do you remember who your instructor was and how long did you train there?
His name was Steve, and I want to say it was Rosenblum or Rosenthal.
I believe, okay, that's, yeah.
And I think his wife was Karen, if I'm not mistaken. They were up in Longwood, Florida, and I trained with them for a while, and then they moved the school to Altamont Springs, and that's when I first met Grandmaster Pai, and
wow.
and he was there helping build the school, and all that, and I was there helping build the school, and so that's when we first ran into each other.
Now, how long did you study the pylon system?
Again, around about 6 months or so. That was about it. But very intense human being, very intense training. When he was on the floor, the whole energy of the class definitely changed when he was on the floor versus other instructors.
Wow, you know, I mean, myself having studied Fred Valari's system of Shaolin Kenpo back in the mid-1970s with one of the first 20 United Studios, combination 3, combination 6, 1 pinyan, for 1 kata, and then pylon. And having worked with Grandmaster Bill Gregory, who was one of the 3 highest ranked people at 7th level under Grandmaster Pi, and short form of the Tiger and Thunder and Earth and the techniques and whatnot. Wow, boy, a lot of similar paths. So after pylon, where did you go to next?
Well, from there, I ended up going to work for Taekwondo school. So I had to make money, and all that, and it just evolved over time. Anytime I could go train with somebody, I would. You know, if I felt I could learn something from somebody, I would. I'd go take a seminar here, I'd take a seminar there. It was really 1986, if I'm not mistaken, when I first met, 1986 when I first met Remy Presses. And I'm like going, who should I train with? You know, and he's like, well, if you can find American Kenpo, you know, anybody that's trained under Grandmaster Parker. So there wasn't anybody in Orlando at the time, and that's where I was teaching from. But I did run into some people up in Philadelphia, and I think the last name was Knackert.
Yeah, Dennis Knackert, yeah. Dennis Knackert is a well-known Kenpo instructor and has very prolific skills. I've had the pleasure of being at Master Knackert's school with Frank Trejo, covering a series of seminars he was doing in that area. So very well renowned. Also a direct student of Joe Louis, and one of his black belts, and an incredible fighter, incredible fighting school as well. So you get in touch with these people, and you find out about these people with Dennis Knackert. So,
again, I just happened to be driving by, saw the school, and stopped in. I don't have a problem with introducing myself. Some people have a problem with the fact that I did introduce myself, you know, because they're like, "Who are you? Why are you in my school? Why, you know, this, that, and everything." You know, so I just want to learn something. I want to learn something new. But my real break in Kenpo was with Vic LaRue.
sure.
And they're on the DVD learning system
The
and all that
Karate
stuff.
Connection, you bet.
And I started training and went to several seminars with Vic.
Okay, so let's go on. Karate Connection. So
Yes.
did you go through the whole course to black belt, or how did that go?
I never made black belt, but I did go through the whole course. I learned everything. You know, the whole idea of testing on video and all this other stuff, which was brand new. I didn't have a camera.
Okay.
So, you know, it's a little hard to test. So, then you know, so that relationship, I could still call Vic and talk to him and ask him about this and ask him about that. And he helped me with the teaching aspect of opening up a school, a program, I should say, not a school, but a program. And he sent me all this information about how to do it and how to set this up and that up and everything else. And so I was very thankful to him for that, because that got me started teaching outside of Taekwondo and Tong Soo Do.
Right.
And so that and my Filipino martial arts instructor, I'm a Guru Rafi Pambuan, who I met in 92, started training with in 93.
And that's what I was going to ask you. How did you get involved? First of all, Vic Lure and Chuck Sullivan, again, the founders of Karate Connection. You know, we talk about you're known predominantly as a Filipino martial artist. How did you begin? We talked about Remy Priestess, but your main instructor in the Filipino martial arts.
My main instructor has been a gentleman by the name of Rufino Pambuan. His title is Amaguro, which means father teacher. That's all. We have titles. We don't have ranking. So either you're a student, intermediate student, advanced student, guru, so on and so forth. How I met him was I was opening a Tongsudo school in the Orlando area. I walked into, at the time, which was the biggest martial arts supply center in Orlando, called East Coast Martial Arts Supply, okay? Run by a gentleman by the name of Bob Elder, owned by Bob Elder. And I was in there, I was asking the manager at the time, a gentleman by the name of Carl. I said, Carl, you know, is there any Filipino martial arts in the area? He says, you know, the only one I know is Mike Sayoc all the way down in Kissimmee. Oh. Okay, and Kissimmee is an hour away.
Right.
So, as I was getting ready to leave, this gentleman pops his head around from the magazines and everything and asked me, do you know Arnice? And I go, I know a little. He goes, I know a little. Now, I'm never going to call my instructor a liar.
But it's a Filipino thing about being humble.
Yes.
Yeah, what do you know? I know a little. And they may have been, you find out later on, they've been doing it 23 years and training with like, you know, Anton Bacon or Remy Priestess or whoever. And it's like, you said a little. Well, it's a little to me. And that's just the way they are, you know.
And so it was his family style. Okay, he had learned from his father. Okay, his father had learned from, on one side of the family, maternal grandfather, on the other side, paternal grandfather. They had two different systems. One is called Tagaharada, okay, to block and strike with one move. And the other was called Tulasan Caballero. Tulasan meaning bandit, Caballero meaning gentleman.
Yeah.
So two different ways of fighting, okay?
Wow.
If we challenge each other as gentlemen, we come to certain rules and understanding.
The Marquis of Queensberry, for lack of a better term, in relationship to the Filipino arts.
And then if not, then it's Tulasan, it's bandit. But back in the days, the old days, the 1800s, late 1800s, when the Filipinos were trying to throw their Revolutionary War, trying to get rid of the Spanish, that was one of the original names of the, for lack of a better term, they're revolutionaries.
Sure, the guerrilla fighters, yeah.
Right, which became the Katipunero and things like that. But it was more like, it was looked at more as Robin Hood.
I was going to say, one person's villain is another person's, you know, vigilante or savior of the common folk.
Yes. And so that's what was going on. They were stealing from the Spanish and giving to the poor and all that. And come to find out, after training with him for a little while and all this, and he's like, I don't really know if I really want to teach or not. Okay? So I sit down and talk with him, and I ask him, tell me about your family style. Tell me about your family art. He said, well, it goes back X number of generations, and you know, we were insurrecto, we were catapunero, we were the revolutionaries, we were the ones that were trying to get rid of them. And goes on to tell the story of you know, his ancestors and all this other stuff, and how they changed their name. They were originally known as San Buenaventura. And the Spanish were looking for the San Buenaventura. And all the San Buenaventura had moved to a small town called Pambuan. So when the Spanish came looking for them, are there any San Buenaventura here? They would say, no, we are Pambuan. And they've kept the name ever since. But Amaguro he's a brother, he's a best friend, he's a mentor. He's the nicest man in the world, yet one of the most deadly.
And I've learned from my many years in martial arts, one normally means the other. Some of the deadliest human beings I've ever met on the planet are also some of the nicest. And they've got nothing to prove because they are who they are.
Yes.
Now, in relationship to the Gathering of the Eagles, you've been involved in several different martial arts over the years. How did you get involved with the Gathering of Eagles? How did you find out about it? And
Well, in '96, Al Tracy adopted me.
okay,
So that's how I came into the
martial art wise.
Martial art wise, he adopted me into his KENPO organization, and officially adopted me in, I want to say 2000, by issuing me rank.
Oh,
Okay, and so I've been with him. He's again been a father figure, a mentor. You know, call him and ask him questions. Sometimes I might not have liked the answer I got, but it was the answer I needed. He never sugarcoated anything, so he's just straight up. And one year he goes, how would you like to come out to Gathering Eagles? You haven't been yet. And that was in 2011.
wow, okay.
Going out to Vegas, and I said, I'd love to. And he started asking about people I knew that may understand and love to be a part of Gathering of Eagles and all that stuff, and started talking about people teaching and all this, everything else, and that's basically Al knew me, but didn't know how I taught and everything
wow.
else.
Okay.
So he really took a chance on me and said, okay, you're teaching.
Excellent. And that's where we first met.
Yes, sir.
And you know, again, you know, you've been to a few, now have you been to some of the, you've been to the, I wasn't at 2015, but 2013, and of course we're here 2017, Gathering the Eagles. What did you went over you taught three seminars. Just for our viewers, what did you go over in those events?
Well, my plans were different than what the students' plans were. The students kind of dictated because it was like, when are you teaching stick? When are you teaching knife? When are you teaching empty hand? And I'm like, well, I'm teaching stick on Friday, knife on Saturday, empty hand on Sunday. And they're like, well, I really want stick, but I can't come till Saturday because I have to take these seminars. And I'm like going, well, I really want knife, but I can only come on Friday. And I went, okay, here we go. There goes my plans. Let's go with theirs. And I taught to what they wanted. We did single stick. Okay, so on Friday we did a little bit of single stick, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of knife work, and a little bit of empty hand. And then Saturday, all I did was take what we had done on Friday and added to it, expounded on it, and then today I taught footwork that went with all of that, so that they were moving as opposed to standing still. And that's what I did, and I had a great response. I'm just tickled.
And I'll tell you, it was very well attended, and again, many students had a great time, and I want to thank you for your time talking to us about the event. And we're going to be back with some exciting action with John Bain from the 2017 Gathering of Eagles. Stay tuned.
Do the same grab. I'm just going to invert my hand right here and push. Same thing. Keep it simple, student. Okay? Keep it simple, student. Okay? Make sense? Okay? Do you need to see it again?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Want to see it again?
Yes, sir.
Oh. All right. Here we go. 1, 2. My hand's turned upside down. It does the same grip. Peel the banana. Boom. Push him towards him. Hit him. Take him up. Take him back down. Whatever I want to do. Okay? Everybody go. Erase that part, Joe. When I first taught women's self-defense, I told them that anytime you're grabbed, it's like being in a room. If he grabs me, I'm in a room. There's only one door to that room. This is a wall. This is a wall. This is a wall. Oh, there's a door. So I got to go towards that thumb. Does that make sense? Okay? So the same thing, grab your stick. Same thing when you're doing this disarm. When we do it here, we're doing it towards that thumb. When we're doing it here, we're doing it towards that thumb. Does that make sense? Sir. So it's still going towards that thumb. That's the door. Okay? So you got to open that door. How do we open it? Well, we have a funny way of opening it. We squeeze. Okay? Now, could we do something else? Yes, we could. He could strike number 1, number 2, and I can snake and bring it in here like this. And now I can eject it this way, and it's going to go a ways. Understood? If I eject it. But I can also just bring it straight down. Oh, thank you. Now I have 2. Understood? Okay? Everybody got that? Yes, sir. Okay. You ready to move on to something else?
Yes, sir.
Good. All right, what we're going to do, we're going to go do some disarms. When you do a disarm, don't hand the stick back to him. Please. That's a very bad training habit. Okay? Stand it up, let him pick it up, but don't hand it back to him. Okay? Seriously, around about 10, 12 years ago, police officer, off duty, New Year's Eve, walks into a convenience store. Convenience store is being robbed. He walks right into the middle of the robbery. Guy turns the gun on him. He disarms him and hands him back the gun. Because that was the way he was trained. He died. Anybody that trains with me, even for one day, you're still my student. And I don't want anything to happen to you. Does that make sense? Yes, sir. All right, we're going to go to empty hand against the stick. Okay? So, he's going to do the number 1 strike. Okay? I'm going to tap that hand with my right hand. I'm going to step with my right foot. Let me ask you guys a question. Yeah, those up front, please sit down. Where's the safest place for me to be with him swinging this stick? Inside. Yeah, I don't want to be out here. Because guess what? He's still got that weapon. He can still hit me, try and hit me. I can only back up so far. Okay? Either I run into a wall or I run into an ocean. I can't swim that well. Okay? So he's going to strike. I'm going to come in here to the inside. 1, 2. My second strike is a grab. It's a grab on the wrist. I'm going to choke that wrist. Understood? So I'm not grabbing the forearm. I'm going to choke right down here on the wrist. I want to control the head of the snake. Understood? How do you pick up a venomous snake? By right behind the head. Otherwise, you don't get bit. All right? So from here, all I want you to do is these 2 moves. 1, 2. I want this hand underneath. Understood? Go. Have fun. Bad intent. 1, 2. Look at what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this thumb up and I'm going to leave it there. My thumb's on the inside of his wrist. My 4 fingers are down here on the crook of the wrist. This hand was here. I'm going to turn my hand over using the back of the hand. Where's the door? Right here at the thumb where the fingers meet. I'm going to push down and bring it right up through there. If I'm quick enough, I have the stick now. I attack him. He goes 1, 2. Good. He brings it down. He disarms. It falls right into his hand. Now we got a 2-person flow drill. Does that make sense? Okay? But if you don't get that, don't worry about it. If you go here like this, and you go, fine. Step back, go, okay, it's your turn, you can pick it up. Okay? Go play. Okay?
right there. Okay? I have the exact same thing. Only thing is, it doesn't have the holes in it, and it's sharp. It will cut you. It's my daily carry. Understood? That and 3 others. Okay? But that's my daily carry, right there. So you should be training with what it is that you carry. Okay, anybody else need? Okay, all right. To begin with, we're only going to need 1 for the pair. Understood? Adam? Okay, so we're only going to use 2 cuts. We're going to use a thrust and slice. Understood? And a thrust and slice. So from open. Okay. Real quick, I'm going to tell you everything I know about knife fighting. You ready? Open, close, palm up, palm down. Now you know everything I know. All right? Okay, but he's going to come in. I'm going to accept it, palm up. Boom. He's trying to cut my throat. Understood? I come in, palm up. I'm going to push and go palm down. As he does that, he's just going to slide up my arm. I'm going to catch him with the other hand. Remember, this hand goes back to here. Why? You're seeing why now, right? Down, up, down, up. This is called passing the blade. Real simple. This is a drill. This is to develop sensitivity and timing. This is not how you defend against a knife attack. Understood? Sooner or later, one of us is going to get tired and go, oh, I'm going home. You know what I'm saying? It's a drill. Please understand that. But it leads to other things. Understood? Can you do that for 2 minutes? Yes, sir. Have I got 2 minutes on the clock? Yes, sir. Okay, go. All right, he's going to come in. I'm going to bring it to here. Palm up, palm down. When I reach bottom dead center, my hand should be on top of his hand. Okay? In order to cause some resistance, I'm going to jerk. When I jerk, what's he going to do?
Pull back.
Pull back. That's natural. That's where I want it. I want it right there. It's amazing what he does when I give him a stimulus. He's going to come back with the stimulus I want. From here, remember the thumb, back of the hand, side of the blade. Here. Okay? Now we can have a discussion. Come to an understanding.
I like this.
Thank you. Where's my foot? On the blade. That way his friend can't get it. Makes sense? Okay? So this is real similar to what you already have done. Does this make sense? Only thing is, it's a sharp pointy thing that will end your life. Is everybody clear on that? So, when you do this, you can practice this at home. Here. And you go to here. Up. And you go to here. So you just keep practicing that takeaway. If you use this, watch.
Thank you.
My own rule. Okay, watch. He comes, slice. Boom, here. I bring it to here. Okay? If he has it this way, or if I have my hand this way, can you move that? Can you move that blade? Can you move it? Can you wiggle it back and forth? Can you turn the edge towards me? Okay, from here with just this hand like this, if he turns that edge towards me, I'm getting cut. I've been cut there. It bleeds a lot. Okay? But if I put it here, try and twist it. He can't. There's too much surface area. Okay? Again, it goes back to simple physics. Yeah, simple physics. I know it's not simple in school, but okay? Understood? But right here. Okay? All right, everybody please come to attention. Stand up, please. Face Grandmaster Jerome Barber. A karate man or a KENPO man would do. Okay? I'm going to come in here. He's going to block this way. As soon as he blocks this way, I own him. Okay? I blue worm him. Okay? Blue worm, that means I cut the belly, especially if you got a little overhang like me. Okay? All the intestines comes out, and it looks blue. like a big worm. Okay? If I come this way, oh, boom, same thing. Understood? Does that make sense? So he wants to pick it up with this other hand. There you go. Understood? Boom. Okay? Make sense? Okay? You want to learn blade. Grandmaster Tracy and I had this conversation several times. Here goes. You want to learn knife? Yes, Kenpo has knife. Okay? A lot of other styles have knife. If you really want to learn how to handle a blade, go to a Filipino martial artist that deals with blade. Okay? There's a lot of Filipino martial artists out there that deal with stick. They don't deal with blade on a regular basis. Our art is based around the blade, and we play with stick. Does that make sense? Okay? All right? So, let's do it one more time. Okay? The only thing is this time, we're going to take it on the other side. So,
Backhand?
yeah, you go forward hand, good forward hand, and then he's going to do that backhand, and when he does his backhand, I'm going to go down and I'm going to grab. We're sure. And I'm going to do the disarm from the other side. Understood? Real simple. Keep it simple. Don't make it hard. Because guess what? If it's not simple and brutal, when you do it on the street, it's not going to work. It's going to get too complicated. Make sense? No. Okay, he's going to throw a hook punch. We're going to do the same pickup, just like we did in the blade. Understood?
Yes.
Okay? So this is the nice thing about Filipino martial arts. You learn weapons first, empty hand last. Okay? Alright? So he's going to throw that hooking punch. I'm going to pick it up just like I did a minute ago. How many of you know any Aiki or Aikido or anything like that? Oh, look at what I've got. Got a joint lock right there. Real simple, easy. Kenpo Jiu-Jitsu. Understood? With a Filipino seasoning. Okay? My instructor's a chef, so I use cooking terms. Okay? Here. Here. There. There you go. Okay, now if I wanted to be a little more mean about it, here, 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 I twist the arm here. Okay, smack him in his own solar plexus, rip the arm out, right here. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all I want you to do is real simple. Just get the wrist off. Okay, you got like 2 minutes. Go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pretty much all one hand.
Here.
I'm sorry.
But I think I'm learning from it, you can't get the law.
Anybody get hurt?
No, sir.
That's good. All right. Anybody feel some little pain today?
Yes, sir.
Good. It's part of training. Makes sense? Okay. So nice. Thank you, Goldie, for the background music. All right. I appreciate you. I thank you, because if there weren't students, I couldn't be a teacher. Okay, so it's you guys that I get to have fun. You see how energetic I get when I get to teach. Okay, and thank you for allowing me to share my instructor's family art. It was passed down and was used against the Spanish in their Revolutionary War. It's part of a Filipino history, so I take a little pride in that, and you know, I want to pass it on correctly. Does that make sense? Okay. And I know we went through a lot. I'm teaching tomorrow, same back time, same back channel. Okay, we'll go through all those steps, but we'll go add some different stuff, go up from different angles and stuff like that. Does that make sense? Okay. And I'll take a poll. Think about it. If you want to come back tomorrow, same thing. Think about what it is you want to see. Do you want to see more knife? Do you want to see more empty hand? Do you want to see, what do you want to see? Because I'm here to serve you. Understood? Sir.
Sir.
Okay. My title says Grandmaster. That means serving. Understood? Because if I don't serve my students, nobody comes and plays anymore. Okay? Make sense? Okay. I thank you very much.